I feel like I should probably should tweet, but I'm not really all that motivated because I feel like I'm definitely also not the only person doing that. We're not gonna use this one. We'll just go over here because it's still open and the Twitter tab is open. Some motivation. There we go. Tweety tweet tweet. Let's go. I will be listening to the audiobook for Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Hello, Aaron. I don't love it because I feel like I am tired, but I want to do some reading today. So we're going to be doing some reading. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome. A Taste of Gold and Iron. I feel like this cover is hideous, but let me make sure that I'm thinking of the right book. Yeah, I was, and this cover is hideous. Is this is oh, and it's yeah, I'm good. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. We'll do the first sprint. What time is it? It is not 25. We'll do the first sprint. You're rereading Wildwood Dancing. You have been reading, so you're still reading They'll Never Catch Us. Are you enjoying it? If you're not enjoying it, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I I already said what I'm reading, and it's on the thing. I'll be reading Miss Carrie Soto. I don't know if I'll be doing my usual 4 sprints. We might just do 2 sprints because what is energy? But 2 sprints is like a little hour almost of reading. It's, 50 minutes. It's a nice time to get some progress in. So, yeah. If you don't like tennis, don't read this book. I will say that. That seems to be my first impression of Miss Carrie Soto. I feel like her other books are like fine. You know what I mean? Like if you aren't like super invested in no, I'm good. I'm good. Just we'll see. Maybe I'll get to listening to the audiobook and I'll really want to be here for longer. But for right now, I'm only promising 2. So I can under promise and over deliver. You're only in chapter 7, so the jury is out, but you kind of don't hate it. You're still interested to see what this oh, yeah, that little girl. That little girl. You're reading The Life in Medieval Times of Kit Sweetly about a girl who wants to be a knight in a medieval fast food chain. Corporate doesn't allow it, and you're liking it. I feel like this cover is also familiar. Let me get on to my Life and Times. Oh, Medieval Times. Maybe that'll. Oh, yeah, this cover is fine. I remember this cover. I remember this cover. I also think this cover is not that great, but they didn't ask me over at Page Street Kids, which is an imprint I've never heard of. Hello, welcome everybody. If you're just joining us, we're doing our first sprint in 4 minutes, and I will be reading Miss Carrie Soto is Back. Let me get my phone charging, or I won't be doing any reading. Yeah, so I'll be listening to that. This is also weird because the audiobook for this, where Where's Libro? Is definitely billed as a full cast. So if you go to your preferred little audiobook platform and you look up Miss Carrie Soto, it says narrated by all of these people. There's like 10 people: Stacey Gonzalez, Mary Carrillo, Patrick McEnroe, Rob Simil Simakier. I don't know. Sorry, said Rob. Brandon Wayne, Max Myers, Ronaldo Pinella. I haven't heard any of these people yet. Vidish, Vidish, Athal- Athavali. I don't know. Sorry to Vidish. Tom Bromhead, Heather Miller, Julia Whalen, Sarah Arrington. Ain't none of these people made an appearance other than Stacey Gonzalez. She's narrated the first 21% of this book on her own, in my opinion. Maybe her dad is like a separate narrator. I don't know. But it's really just been all those people. Like, it's been one person. So I'm interested to see how this book is formatted because it's not clicking as to why there's like a whole cast narration getting billed and a quarter of the book is one narrator. Also, the first, I don't think this is a spoiler, but the first 21% of the book is like, I feel like low key filler. And again, like you have to be really invested in hearing some tennis. And I don't mean like, oh, she's going to practice. Oh, she's going to no, it's like all tennis all the time. You get a crash course in tennis. Like it's too much. But I'm enjoying it. It's too much, but I am enjoying it. Volume 6 of Saga. You're reading Assembly by Natasha Brown. I read that last year. I listened to it. It was fine. I didn't really get the hype. You can't wait to read Carrie Soto. You love a full cast. Again, I feel like you may just because like so the first 21%, and I think the next couple of chapters as well, is just like stuff that we would have seen already. It's like her childhood, which I guess is the new information. But where I'm at now, we're about to get into her affair with Brandon. And then I think the next chapter is also about the affair with Brandon. And then the chapter after that is called like her comeback and it's back in the present. So maybe the full cast is coming. I personally don't like a full cast narration. I think that it's a little bit foolishness personally. Um so I'm fine with it just being Stacey Gonzalez. And to be fair, like on the actual little ugly ass cover of the book, it says read by Stephanie Gonzalez and a full cast. So like maybe the full cast is just like sprinkles. It's like a little seasoning. But so far, of all the full cast books, this is probably my favorite just because it's not doing too much. There's not like weird production going on in the background and like different voices every 30 seconds. Exactly. It is a lot of people. You're going to be reading A Ship of Magic and you have the desire to pick it up while you have the desire to pick it up. Well, let me not keep you because it is definitely 25. So I'm going to bring up our little kitty cat. The kitty cat is going to meow at the end of this. So beware that you are going to hear a meow. And that's when you know it's time to stop reading. The UK cover is also hideous, but at least the UK cover matches the UK cover of Daisy Jones and the UK cover of Malibu Rising. It's all like a very similar aesthetic, but the Carrie Soda one is still ugly, but at least it's cohesive. Those three are, I think, I don't know what the UK cover of Evelyn Hugo looks like. It's probably very different, but at least Daisy Jones, uh, Malibu Rising, and Carrie Soto have like a very similar vibe to all three of them. So at least they will match, but it's also hideous. Welcome back. How did everybody do? I listened to 10% because I upped the speed. I was listening at like 2 times speed and the narrator was pretty slow. So now we're at 2.5 times speed. And like I said in the chat, the full cast has appeared. If I had to guess, I would assume that this is going to be formatted very similarly to The Seven Husbands. So the first 20%, it was backstory. It was catching us up with the events of Malibu Rising. It was like 2 paragraphs really. And then the fallout from that, which again was like a sentence. So that was fine with me. And then the 2 chapters that I thought were going to be us getting to the present, they were. And it was like clearly a tabloid situation and like a more reputable news site, and those were narrated by 2 people. And then there seems to be like a sports broadcast situation, and that was narrated by 2 guys. It was really fun. It was interesting. So this is a full cast narration that I can get behind, I think. Uh, Stacy, is her name Stacy? Yes. Stacy Gonzalez is going to be taking the reins. It's not going to be a bunch of like foolishness. And even like the little sports broadcast, let me take these out. The little sports broadcast that was going back and forth wasn't doing the most. Like they didn't try and introduce random sound effects and like do too much with the production. I know people really like it and they're like, ooh, the production. And there's like, I feel like when they do that, it's very clear to me that the people who are doing that don't listen to podcasts. They don't listen to like sports broadcasting. So it's fine. It's fine the way it is. I like this little forecast. So I think I will have more energy to do more than one sprint just because as I was listening, I pulled out my little wall calendar and I tried to start planning some content. So we're going to attempt to continue to do that. And I'm going to need more than 25 minutes. So I will do my usual 4 sprints. So we got 3 more to go. And at the end of those 3, we will again reassess because it is also going to be late. So it's already about to be 9 o'clock. So let's see here. You read nothing. You had a conversation with your husband and got lost in TikTok land, but now you're ready. Love it. Love that for you. I got lost on Instagram earlier, scrolling through reels, and I was like, when did I become this person? When did I become the person scrolling through Instagram reels? Finished a chapter, was not expecting both the sisters to lose. You take that back. You figured Mika would win, but not by a landslide with Ella and Stella. Full of twists and turns. You finished The Prophet. You were bored most of the time, but there were some quotable moments. Is that the blue book? Is that my Am I thinking of the right book? Is that book even blue? Let me see here. Prophets by Robert R. Jones. Yeah, there's blue on this cover. I mean, there's like some gray and some yellow. You're reading The Final Strife. You're only on page 50 and there's a lot going on. Listen. That book is interesting. I think that there are sometimes books that I read that I don't care to see other people talk about. Like, it might be because I really loved a book and I don't want to hear your criticisms that I know are there, or it's because I hated a book and I don't want to see people loving a book that I hate. Then there are books like in the middle. And this book is one that I think is like really interesting to see people's experiences with. And part of me almost wishes that I had vlogged it, but I also was really happy to just like read the book and experience the book and just know what was happening. I would say that if you were going to read, I mean, I went and read the entire extended universe, but if I was not that person and I was doing it for my patrons, so like I read the extended universe again for me, but also for content. And if I wasn't making it for content, having just reread Malibu Rising, no, because Carrie Soto is like a when I say a minor character, I mean like the most minor of minor characters. She gets name dropped in the first 30 pages because the main character of Malibu Rising, Nina Riva, her husband leaves her to go have an affair with Carrie. Um, Okay. I got distracted by the comment section. Having an affair with Carrie. And then Carrie makes a very brief appearance in one scene later. So if you were going to read a 380-page book for Carrie Soto, just don't do it. Carrie Soto is back. You can just jump in. I think the all of the I think on Goodreads it's classified as like the California Dreams universe. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if Taylor Jenkins reads that in an interview somewhere, because I've never won. Take it back. I went to a book launch and she was present. But outside of that one book launch that I was at, where she was also happened to be there, I have not ever gone out of my way to hear her talk. And so I don't know if she's talked about that in subsequent interviews. But all of them are independent. Like minor characters will cross over. Usually there are Riva. I have found that Mick Riva and his associates are the most prolific in crossing over, because I think that Taylor Jenkins Reid really likes the Riva family. But Carrie Soto is like literally a blink and you'll miss her character. So if you were going to like look at the characters in Malibu Rising and be like, that's going to be a character that gets a story, I don't think I would have picked this character. So it is what it is there. So you definitely don't have to read it. You can just jump into this one and have a good time. But if you didn't read Malibu Rising, she talks about what happened in those like literally two scenes that she was in, and we move on back to her tennis career. You did some journaling, so now you're going to read Ship of Magic in the next sprint. Someone else is reading this. You were also supposed to be reading Ship of Magic, correct? While you were motivated to do it, yes. I'm assuming this is for Aaron's book club, the the Busy Bee book club, right? Is that what it's called? Did we change the name? I don't know. I've never read a book for the Busy Bee book club, so I think take it back. I read Black Sun, but I think I read it independent of the book club, and then I was able to actually participate. But usually I just show up for the tea, but I have no interest in reading the little Realm of the Elderling. So good luck to y'all. 30% into We Hunt the Flame. The book is drier than the desert setting. You just want you want a we have to bring back magic to the land that isn't enemies to lovers. I don't think that's ever going to happen. But also, I just want to say that we have to bring back magic to the land is my least favorite fantasy trope. I would much rather a fantasy world have zero magic than the plot of the book being like we need to restore magic. That plot is tired, is boring. Let's find something else. Almost finished assembly. You got 16 pages. You like it better in print because the formatting gets lost. Oh, there's interesting formatting. Love that for that one, but I thought the book was bland. I'm happy that you're enjoying it though. The Prophets by Khalil Gibran. Let me see what this cover looks like. Maybe that cover is better. Prophets. Okay. Let me see how you pronounce. Oh, Khalil. See, I was already typing him in to Goodreads wrong, so you know Goodreads is not going to show me. Really? Can I? Okay. This cover is also blue. Okay, it's not the prettiest cover I've ever seen in my life, but it's serviceable. I mean, for a book about poetry, it looks like a cover for a book about poetry. 65 pages. Also, before I get too ahead of myself, let's do the next sprint at 5. So 5-minute warning, just so I have something to stop me from just being in the comments forever. 65 pages into Haunted and 90s horror paperback you've had on your shelf forever. It's unexpectedly very sexy. I wouldn't have guessed that, but interesting. The Mick Riva cinematic universe, essentially, like there are some like very. I think of all the characters that we have met, he has interacted the most with everybody. Like his his little self has been in every book since the first one. Him or someone directly no, because even he was in. Well, I guess he hasn't been in this one, Carrie Soto, but like Carrie Soto slept with his daughter's husband, so like tangential. August pick. I don't know what her book club is I don't know. I mean, I know who you're talking about, and I did watch her announcement video, but I have not decided if I'm actually gonna read the books. So I probably will be in the chat for that one. I think I was at work for the last one, or I had to have been at work. There was some reason I didn't watch her July one though. Sucks to hear about We Hunt the Flame. You keep hearing mixed stuff about it. You're 293 pages in, and you're only on chapter 13. Sounds horrible. I mean, I don't really care about long chapters or short chapters. I'll get through it either way. I feel like Wall of Storms had long chapters, but I was listening to the audiobook, so didn't really phase me. Currently slugging through the Inheritance games. If you're slugging through it, just DNF. I don't, but y'all should. Do what I don't. On page 28 of Goliath by Tochi Onibuchi, you finished the final strife last night in Onyeka in the Academy of Sun this morning. Okay, you've been reading. I mean, I guess I have been too. Like last night I finished Malibu Rising, and now I'm 31% into Carrie Soto. So I've also been like reading. It doesn't feel like it. Writing is fantasy. This author knows her words, but everything else is so wage and tropey and not in a good way. Hate to see it. Fantastic. Hello. Welcome. He left with his daughter's no, he didn't. Carrie did. Mick Riva he's just out there being Mick Riva. Been filing in out of YA. Getting tired of the same tropes. I get it though. You're not the target audience anymore. Hello, Bree. Welcome. Let us know what you're reading today. You cannot stop mid chapter. You have to finish, and it drives you crazy. Oh, see, I don't care where I stop. I will stop take it back. I will stop at the end of the sentence. I prefer to stop at the end of a page, but most pages don't stop at the end of a sentence. So I usually wind up stopping at like the end of the first paragraph on the next page. But chapters are so often very arbitrarily decided. It's not like, oh, it's a new scene, we're in a new location. Sometimes it is that. So I feel like that's what it should be. I feel like Taylor Jenkins Reid does that most consistently, where it's like, okay, we're in a new scene, it's a new place, so we're into a new chapter. But like, especially for fantasy books, you could go through like 3 or 4 different locations in one chapter. And so it's like, if it's not going to be any like real clear indicator of like, usually for fantasy, it's a different perspective. So like, we're going to follow Susie and now we're following Becky. So we're in a new chapter. But this little multi gesture really doing me dirty. Also, 1 minute warning. Your chance to the Fireborn. I feel like someone reading Fireborn for a book club situation. Oh, it's 5 already. We'll read at 10. Because I am behind. I mean, her books are not very complicated. Not very complicated at all. So 7 and the first 3 were rereads. So Daisy Jones and Seven Husbands were definitely rereads. They were quick to get through. Malibu Rising and Carrie Soto, I have the audio for. So that's helping a little bit. I wanted the audio for all of them so I could just listen, but Miss Taylor Jenkins Reid, she got a chokehold on the library system, so I wasn't getting them books anytime soon. Got home from work, you're about to read Kai K. I hope you have a better time with Kai K than I did. Just started listening to the Sookie Stackhouse series because of Bree. You love to see it. You ain't getting no notifications. I mean, I did tweet it out. So if you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen. But we've also only done 1 sprint. And we're supposed to do the next sprint at 5, but then I swiped out of the stream. So in 4 minutes at 10, we're going to do the next sprinty sprint. People are saying, hi, you're finishing up A Court of Frost and Starlight. When I read A Court of Frost and Starlight, I really liked it because unlike other people, I could see a plot there. I could see where we could use this to go forward. And then I read A Court of Silver Flames, and I was like, okay, well, you had a plot, Sarah, and you decided there was no plot. You just, I feel like Sarah watched everybody get mad about it, and she said, "Oh, okay, y'all thought that's what that was. Okay, sure." And so she made that book become that, even though there was very clearly groundwork being laid for more. Haven't figured out if you're going to read or do some crafts. I mean, if you do the audiobook, I don't know if you have an audiobook, but you could do both. You could listen and do a craft. I'm going to be listening to Carrie and continuing my little uh content planning. You have one chapter left in the first book. You've read the first 6 books back when they came out, so it's nice to reread. How are you liking them? Can't wait to see. Check it out. You're watching Aaron's book shopping, so that was the only way you thought you were live. Otherwise, you were continue watching Aaron's video. I mean, I'm happy you're here. Happy the 32 people saw it. I mean, uh she thank you, Cam. She did do Tamlin dirty, and I wish that I cared about Tamlin, so I would be invested in his downfall and be like, this was wrong. She's wrong for that. But I don't. What was wild to me is that she did Tamlin so dirty. She did Tamlin so dirty. And then Reese is like actually a worse character. Like, I called Reese out for being horrible in A Court of Mist and Fury. I titled my Court of Mist and Fury review video, Reese and the Garbage Man, because he is trash. Like, literal fey trash. And then when I was reading A Court of Silver Flames, which, you know what? I think that people don't like that book because in A Court of Silver Flames, not to spoil nothing, because I don't know if you've read it yet. I'm assuming not, because you're reading Frost and Starlight. In Silver Flames, Reese was doing some shit, and I was like, now this is the man I know him to be. This is the garbage I know him to be. And I think the girlies were mad. I think the girlies were very upset that their favorite little Fae was doing some fuck shit. Listen, he's a garbage man. He is a garbage man. He and Hunt are the co-presidents of These Men Don't Wash They Ass. They don't wash they ass. They are the co-presidents of that club. You can't convince me that they are clean persons. I really enjoyed it. I was just rewatching it the other day. I rewatch a lot of my videos. I say that a lot, but I do actually rewatch them because I find myself highly entertaining. Hunt is even worse than Reese. Actually, you know what? I take it back. After Silver Flames, Hunt is not worse than Reese because even though Hunt definitely don't wash his ass, I don't see Hunt doing what Reese did in Silver Flames. I said Reese in A Court of Silver Flames was trying to be the Republican nominee for president so bad. He said, "Elect me, and you too can get with my cause." It was foolishness. Sarah J. Maas always does the first love interest in her novels dirty. Why can't she just leave the nice guys alone? What's wrong with the nice guys, Sarah? I mean, I don't think she does it every time, but she does it frequently. She did it a couple times. Now I'll be becoming Reading Spence Girly in the span of 3 weeks. Hello, welcome to the Reading Spence Girly gang. You came at the right time. Oh, I have to reshare this because I swiped out of the little tabby tab earlier. But the kitty cat is back. We're going to read for 25 minutes. At the end of the 25 minutes, the cat will meow. It'll make a noise. You're going to hear it. It's going to happen. Please do not come in the comment section. Let me take this off so you don't think I'm talking to you. People in the comment section, it's going to meow. Don't be alarmed. It's going to happen. That's the sound it's going to make. So with that said, I'm going to mute myself and we're going to go back to the reading. Welcome back. I'm now at 40% of Miss Carrie Soto being back, and I'm having a good little time. Having a wonderful little time, a little ditty of a time. Does this book really have a plot? I mean, sure. It's called her being back. She's trying to get back, trying to do the thing. Um, is it a very compelling plot? Wouldn't say that. There's also what I would argue the most substantial little romance plot in this book. Also don't care about, but it's fine. I'm having a good little time still. I think that all of the I said this on Goodreads and during my first update. This probably is not probably is. All of the books in this era of Taylor Jenkins Reid's little renaissance career pivot, I think are divisive. Of them, probably Seven Husbands is the most universally beloved because y'all have no taste. But not the people in here, of course. But in general. And so I think that one has the most universal appeal, but then with Daisy Jones Malibu Rising there was kind of this fracturing, and I think there's going to be more fracturing with Carrie Soto because again you really have to want to hear about tennis. You just have to eat, sleep, breathe tennis to like this book, because the character stuff is fine. Also, it's I think Malibu Rising was also good because it was such a reprieve from the kind of main character that Taylor Jenkins Reid usually writes. You could argue that Daisy and Evelyn are very similar, and Carrie Soto is also in that little mix. And so Nina and her mother June, and even Kit, are all different than the kind of woman in this era of her little career. So I don't know. Again, I think it's gonna be pretty divisive. Let's see here. Let's catch up with the chat. Also, before I get sidetracked, let's aim to do the next sprint at 50. So in 12 minutes, that's gonna be my goal. So Erin ate dinner. We don't know what it was, but she ate dinner, or she made dinner. She ordered dinner, something with dinner. Hello, welcome. Hi. Let's see here. You started assembly. Is everybody is there a book club for this month? This is the second person in the chat that's read this tonight, and I mean I've read it, but is there a reason this is going around again? Is it a short list for an award? Is it just getting hype somewhere that I'm unaware of? Let me know. Finished Akafas. I don't know why I was getting Akasif. Hello, welcome, Vina. Here for the Evelyn Hugo slant. Listen, Evelyn Hugo's a horrible book. It's easily the worst one in the canon. Easily. I mean, again, it is compulsively readable. It's well written, sure, whatever. But major flaws. The most major of all the flaws. And I'm not a Latinx reviewer, so I won't be talking about how Carrie Soto being an Argentinian character is handled in this book. I'm gonna leave that for the girlies. But I will say that when Evelyn Hugo was coming out, the Cuban readership, they fucked with Evelyn. So I think it's really just me that be trepidatious about her depicting of the Latinx community, and it's not my community. So you took a break from the final strife, as you should. I'm assuming this is about me saying you have to eat, sleep, and breathe tennis. It's a little bit of an exaggeration, but I do think that I want you to. I would rather exaggerate how much tennis is in the book than someone pick up this book and be like, "Why is there so much tennis?" Her being a tennis player, you know what it is? It's really giving. I said this. This is a little bit of the insider tea that the patrons are going to get, but I said this in the video I'm making for them that it's really giving King Richard. It's giving King Richard if we swapped out the blackness and we made them Argentinian. It's really that, because her father is her coach. Her father was a tennis player before her. They were poor and struggling, and and he said, "Oh, I'm gonna have a baby boy, and this little baby boy is gonna be the best tennis player in the world." And he got Carolina Soto, and he said, "It's fine, Carolina. You're gonna be the greatest tennis player in the world, And so he coached her, and she became the greatest tennis player in the world. I mean, she eventually fired him, so you hate to see it. But she did become the greatest tennis player in the world. And now she's back and she has her daddy, and they're gonna go out here and do the thing. So like it really is. I mean, I also had to stop watching King Richard because I said this in the vlog too. Like I love you, Will Smith. I love what you've done for the entertainment industry. But as soon as he starts busting out accents, it's time for me to exit. I can't listen to this man try and do an accent for an extended period of time. So if you enjoyed that and you were just like, I want a book, then here you I mean, I think there is like I'm sure there are tons of biographies about Venus and Serena that you could read instead of this. But tennis is like really front and center. I think that like Evelyn being a movie star was not really like that. Like we knew she was in movies and we got to see her career, but it wasn't like we were on set following her through the machinations of getting ready for a role and doing the role. And even Daisy Jones and the Six, like we know that the Six made an album and we got to see that, and you get to see the chronicling of making Aurora and that tour. So like that was a little bit closer to like how the sausage gets made. But here it's like we are running drills. We are we're learning about the ins and outs of tennis. We are shouting out the tennis greats. Like it's all tennis all the time. You're reading a romance novella called On Point and starting Babel. I love this for you. Not not this. 25 pages. You've tried TJR's books. It's probably her writing style that doesn't work for me. Yeah. Like her writing style is it's easy to get into, but it's also, I think, one of my major issues with the first two books after I read Malibu Rising is like there's like not a whole lot of nuance here. There's not, and even in Carrie Soda, like the nuance just isn't present. So I think that's another reason why Malibu worked for me. Like there was more, it felt like there was more substance in that one. You're reading Aragon and it's bad, not bad. Listen, that was my childhood. I'm just gonna keep scrolling. I'm gonna keep scrolling. Yeah, at 28% now. You saw it on Goodreads and you went to the bookstore and you bought it. Okay, see, okay. It would. I mean, I don't think that was my um. I don't think that was my critique, but it definitely was bland. I did think it was bland. I say, I mean, if you want like A Quarter Silver Flames is definitely a romance. It's definitely a romance. So I say read it. I mean, there is a plot. There is like stuff happening, but it's definitely a smutty romance. So if you want smutty romance, you can continue on reading Silver Flames and you will get smutty romance. And I'm pretty sure On the Honeymooners is Fade to Black. So just saying, throat goat, fade to black. Throat goat, fade to black. Finish assembly, maybe in a month, and you'll still be thinking about it. You haven't forgotten completely, so you can't say. Start a Nuclear Family by Joseph Hahn, and you're already enjoying it more. You're going to give your sister some grace since the book is too short. Yeah, it's like a novella, which was something I don't really read a lot of. Yes, it is. It is giving Richard Williams, but his name is Javier Soto, so you got to put respect on Javier Soto. 15 pages of Final Strife. You made coffee. You're having a hard time with the writing style. Ooh, the prologue and the first. Listen, the writing of the Final Strife is not amazing. It's not great, and I honestly can't even tell you that like it's worth the struggle. But I do think that if you get to the end of the book and you see what Sarah El Arifi was trying to do, and you can see the vision, you don't feel as bad about the struggle, but it is a struggle. You're wrong about who's going to die first. Not that anyone has died yet in the. Well, that's nice. At least you'd be surprised by something. Reading Night Bitch, and you ate some really good deep dish pizza. Very rough, but you're okay. Just you have to you're gonna have to hold on to that intrigue because you ain't get no kind of answers until like 75% of the way through the book. And at that point, you're kind of like, I don't know if it's even worth it, but just stick it out. And again, I don't know if the end it makes it worth it, but I felt like, okay, at least we got somewhere. Like there's a vision. I can see what you were trying to do. The Unhoneymooners was definitely a divisive book. I remember a lot of people having issues with that one. Palette cleansing by clearing your children's bookshelf, and then you might start circling back to you by Julie too. You didn't enjoy her debut, but the publisher sent me this, so hopefully it's better. I hope that it is better for you. Listen, sometimes you gotta tell a little white lie. I mean, I think I gave that book 4 stars because of the ending. So for me, it was worth it. For me, it was. But like looking back at it and seeing, like, thinking about all the things you have to struggle through, maybe it's not worth it for everybody. Switching to something fast paced right now. It was very much giving girl who's curvy thinks she's fat and talks about the entire book and claims its enemies to lovers. Rip. Oh, this is on Honeymooners, right? Yes. Yes. Okay. You just read You Made Whole Death Your Beauty. Yes, I gave that book one singular star, and it was only for Joy. Um, Joy worked real hard to give that book 1 star because it was horrible. Popping back in from eating dinner, you read a chapter. Okay, but what was for dinner? That's what I want to know. Sucking all the soul left in you. Feel like you have shackled to the fields from these books. Damn, that's intense. Listen, for me, it was worth it. For me, the ending was worth it because here's the thing. When you tell me that you I sent you a voice note about this. When you told me, or maybe we were on Zoom, something happened where I had to communicate this. Where it's like you're telling me that there's an entire group of people who have their tongues ripped from their mouths and their hands are chopped off so that they are like good servants and it makes them more obedient. I said, this doesn't even make sense. The math isn't mathing. The logic isn't logicking. And then for the whole book, rest of the book, I was waiting for that explanation to come back to me. And spoiler alert, spoilers. I'm not gonna tell you what the spoiler is, but you do get a more satisfactory answer as to why these people are walking around with no tongues and no hands. Because when I read that, I said, Sarah El Arifi, we it's on site because this don't even make sense. This doesn't even okay. It was on live. Okay, I knew there was like a voice something was happening because it's like it don't even make sense for you to sit here and tell me that these people have no hands and they can't talk. And so when I got to the end of the book and I got an answer to that wasn't, oh, it makes them better servants. I said okay, 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 thank you, thank you for this, thank you. I don't care. Like it I appreciated that. And ultimately, I think it sets up a series that could be interesting, but the first book itself is not it's not the bee's knees. It's not the bee's knees at all. On Honeymooners was whack. Yeah. Oh, not breastbone. How does you know what? I don't want to know how breastbone comes up. I don't want to know. Just off the phone, but you're trying to get through some X-Men comics. Yes, we are, because a couple people in the chat are reading it or setting it aside. You have a bunch you had a burrito lasagna of some sort with vegetables. Interesting. I've never heard of this. Sounds fascinating. I mean, it definitely takes some minor inspirations from the Hunger Games, but it makes more sense over here. I say go watch it. We're about to do a sprint in like 30 seconds. I say do it. You want the Shrine of fight the final strife so bad because of the beautiful. You didn't even say so bad. You want the final strife because of the cover, but you're not willing to read it. I say, just print it, like go to your library, pay whatever you have to pay uh to print out the cover and put it in a nice little frame so you can look at it and just know that Homegirl doesn't have a torso. So you can look at it like, oh, she don't have a torso. But you will have the cover and you can appreciate it and you won't have to read the book. That's what I say you should do. Make an art print out of it. But with that said, I said we would do our next little sprinty sprint at 50, and it is 50. So I'm going to start the timer. Welcome back, everybody. We're gonna ignore this little break timer. Like, maybe if I was an actual Pomodorian, we would we would agree to that. But I talk too much for a 5-minute break. So we will do our last little sprinty sprint probably at 25. I feel like that's a decent time, which means that we'll be able to wrap it up here before 11 o'clock my time. I don't know if you're still around, Rachel, but hi, hello, welcome. What was I gonna say? Oh, before I went live, I was tempted just to watch your sprints because then I could just lay in bed, but obviously I said let me sit up for a little bit. This is why I be doing the disclaimers. I mean, I didn't do it this time, but for the first sprint before you were here, I definitely gave a disclaimer because then things like this happen. I am having a wonderful time. I just hit the 50% mark. I have about 2 hours of this little audiobook left, so I will definitely be finishing it this weekend, and then I'll be turning my attention to my other Patreon obligations, but I'm not pressed about it. I'm enjoying it. I still think that you have to there's a romance element that is I'm starting to get on board. Before this last sprint, I was not on board with the romance, but now I'm on board with the romance. So I love that for me. Read another chapter, 33%. You also fly on the wall. Oh, yes, about this little US cover. Yeah, I have questions about that. I just want some answers. 15 pages left. This book is giving that blue puffer jacket activist. Not a blue puffer activist. You started reading A Court of Silver Flame. It's 11:16 for you. Okay, maybe my updates have not been making it clear. Even though I personally don't give two fucks about tennis, I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying this book. It's halfway, you're halfway through this novella if you're going to stay up and read it. Love that for you. You joined during the end of the sprint, but you read 2 chapters of Queen of the Tiles. Well, luckily for you, we have one more sprint. Our little last sprint coming up in about, what is that? I said we would do it at 25, so 7 minutes. You ate some ramen and now you're snacking on pretzels. Okay, but what are you reading? What are you reading is what the girlies want to know. You read another 24 pages. You're about to get some golden Oreos. You know, who was it? My friend Storm, her favorite Oreos were the golden birthday cake. And you know what? The golden birthday cake Oreos, valid points were made. Some real valid points were made. And I have not seen them in a minute. Ramen sounds good, but you're going to go to Taco Bell after this. Love that for you. You Googled his name is DeRay. I'm assuming the cover artist for the Final Strife, but maybe I'm off base here. In the TJR cinematic universe, where do you rank Carrie Soto? Let's see here. Well, Evelyn Hugo, dead last. The bar is literally in hell, so she's there. Then I would say right above that is Daisy Jones. Malibu Rising, I think, is top tier. I don't think anything is ever going to surpass Malibu Rising. So I would put it between Malibu Rising and Carrie Soto. No, DeRay's the blue activist. Oh, okay. The puffer jacket person. Okay. Love that for y'all. I'm not keeping up apparently. The worst Oreos are the coffee flavored ones. I'm gonna be very honest here. I think that the birthday cake golden Oreos slap. I think those are the best ones. I'm with Storm on that. But I'm just regular Oreo or a mint. I've never had the thins because I love myself and I feel like I would not like the thins. But the mint, I am a mint person. I'm a mint supremacist. But also something about a black person writing about being stagnant and white supremacy just to go around being intimate with a white man and then complain about his terrible white parents. Yeah, it was weird. Like the book is weird. That book is weird. You haven't picked up your next read, but it'll be The Hollow Places by T. Weren't you just reading The Hollow Places? You're rereading The Hollow Places? I don't understand. I'm lost. You didn't think you would like them at first, but you think your favorite Oreos are the lemon ones? Lemon is fine. I don't need it in an Oreo, but I'm not mad at them for existing. The best Oreos are the white chocolate covered ones that come out near the holidays. I'm not trying to get no fudge dipped Oreos. Love that for the culture. I love that for the people. But like I said, I am a basic Betty. With my Oreos, I will just get the regular. If I'm feeling like I need some razzle dazzle, maybe a double stuff, maybe a mega stuff, but regular regulars or cement. You missed the Halloween edition of the Oreos. You haven't seen them in years. What, the orange ones? I thought they still came out, the orange ones. Maybe I'm not. 14 pages read. You're allergic to mint. You're so sad. It was your favorite flavor. Double stuff is your favorite Oreo. Mega stuff is too much. I mean, you can't be a quitter if you're going for the mega stuff. You can't be a quitter. Mint, golden, lemon, and dark chocolate Oreos are all good. I've never heard of a dark chocolate Oreo. That sounds disgusting. Okay, we have another fan of the white chocolate Oreos. Hello, welcome. Hopefully you enjoy Lock Every Door. I've only read Final Girls by Riley Sager. Didn't blow me away, but I did appreciate it more than the Final Girl support group. And I thought that Riley Sager should definitely have been shading his little tweety tweet. Lemon Hive. I don't I don't know if I need a lemon hive. No, Monty, the thin Oreos really snap. Do not. I don't need it. But see, I am also the person that takes my Oreo and dunks it in my milk, and I take my little spoon and I fish it out of there. So I don't really want crunchy snappies. Don't want crunchy snappies. So I like a little mushy, a little soggy, little oat milk up in my Oreo. You're reading The Twisted Ones and What Moved the Dead. Okay. Love that for you. I have zero plans on reading a T. Kingfisher, but hopefully The Hollow Places is good. Thin original Oreo. That sounds bad. You're reading Fish Swimming in Dappled Sunlight because Lala liked it, and it's actually good so far. I love that for you. I'm pretty sure that Lala and Kayla and I have like books that we agree on. I haven't looked into it too much. I'm still traumatized from Razor Blade Tears. You love lemon ice cream. You haven't tried the lemon Oreos. I don't think I've ever had lemon ice cream. To me, lemon is like a sorbet. Like I don't want lemon mixing with like cream. Although Oreos are vegan, so there's actually like no cream. So I guess an Oreo is fine. Y'all really, yeah. These people are really out here doing a lot. Yes, mint supremacist. You knew about the Oreo interconnected universe, but you know people ate them. I mean, I assume that people ate them because they be staying stocked on the shelves. Like every time you go in, it's like 3 new Oreo flavors, and they be there forever. I did not. Yeah, Oreos are vegan. Regular Oreos are a vegan product. Y'all clearly have never been a vegan because every vegan knows Oreos are vegan. Are they good for you? No, but they're vegan. There's no milk product in regular Oreos. Now, when you get into the specialty Oreos, like your little fudge dipped, your other ones, your toffee nuts, your other flavors, not every flavor of Oreo is vegan, but your regular, but just the original cream is vegan because it's not real cream. Anyway, birthday, exactly. These, like, they're top tier, definitely a top tier, but me and my regular Oreos are the last one. I think it is going to be my last sprint. Y'all are clearly I don't know how y'all went your whole lives not knowing that they're vegan. In Australia, we only have 3 kinds: Oreo, standard, double stuffed, and hazelnut. I would like a hazelnut. I feel like hazelnut is a nice that's a nice variety to have. It's not weird like lemon. Okay. Exactly. I mean, there are so many products that are like it's in the same facility. So that's like up to you. But to me, I don't care. If milk is in the air and there's like a little milk atom, the what who am I to care about the little milk atom? You enjoy flesh, butter, and honey. You'll never be a vegan. I mean, there are vegans who eat oysters. So you can enjoy whatever you want to eat as a vegan. Vegan is just people do what they do. We got a lot of the fudge dipped ones. You hate the chocolate. We're supposed to be reading. We're supposed to be reading. So let me catch up. You'll continue your Afro Indigenous ways to eat the meat. Now you have the Oreo commercial song stuck in your head. The milk, exactly. So, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be an atom, it would be a molecule with a complex structure. I understand, but it wouldn't land the same as a little jokey joke. But jokey joking aside, here's the timer. We're gonna read. Welcome back. How did everybody do on their last sprint? I'm now at 60% of Carrie Soto. I have like an hour and 40-ish minutes left. So I'm probably going to finish the chapter that I'm on before I go to bed, but that'll happen on my own time because it is late and I would like to lay in my bed and not be here sitting at my desk. So I'm gonna wait to see how everybody is doing. I see that there was conversations about milk alternatives. I mean, I feel like you are better off being an imperfect vegan than doing most other things, but that's it's personal belief. Personal belief. Personally, I also don't care what other people eat, but I'm not the vegan police. So if you want to call yourself a vegan and every Thursday you have a corn dog, I love that for you. Oat milk is only good with ice. I mean, I don't just drink milk. So like if I know I'm gonna buy Oreos, I'll make sure that I have oat milk. Although the silk, what is it? Silk Next is like if I was a person who just like drank milk, I've never been a person that just drinks milk. But if you wanted to just drink a milk alternative, the Next milk is probably the one I would drink because even that's better with cereal. Because oat milk isn't even good with cereal. It's just is not. But the Next is good with cereal, and it is. I wouldn't say that it tastes like milk, but it doesn't have like the same weirdness. Probably because it's like a blend of all kinds of alternatives. You're back to reading Good Food. Love that for you. You're almost done with your chapter. Erin left us to go to bed, so we love that for her. Let's see here, 39% now, 22 pages of Queen of the Tiles. You finished a bunch of children's books. I love Amy Wu's series by Kat Zhang. Still palate cleansing with that manga and comic books before jumping into a contemporary. Sounds very productive. This book is I would really you ate dinner. I love that for you. I really want to pick there aren't oh, we can get rid of this, can't we? I don't know why we still have this up here like this matters to anybody anymore. Um there aren't a lot of authors that I would like want to interview or have conversations with, but I really want to know what made Taylor Jenkins Reid say, you know what I want to write? I want to write a play by play of tennis. Just like chapters upon chapters about play by plays, what is going on here in this tennis match. I would really love to pick the brain because I I see the vision and I'm appreciating it, but I just want her to be like, I just really want to know like what she's doing. Burmese food, nuclear family in a weird is weird in a good way. 45 pages in West Coast, so you'll be reading for a while more. Makes sense. It's not as late over there. 23 pages. You're gonna finish this long ass chapter and then go to bed. You should have never read Assembly and it cost me $23. I mean, I'm not surprised. Like the way you could never get me to purchase you could never get me to purchase a novel. I mean, not a novel. Wow, wow, a novella because those things are too short. Too short. I think I listened to. I mean, I know I listened to Assembly because it's a Libro pick, but I listened to it while I was getting my groceries, like on the way to the store, walking around the store, getting home from the store, and making my dinner or lunch, whatever the meal was. I was done with the book. You can never get me to pay to read that. You're gonna head out. Good night, everybody. Um, let me even. That's a good question. Let's see here. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's been a really long time since I read this book, though, so I would have to. I would. I would have to probably rewatch my reading 5-star predictions video where I read that one. Oh, I did finish my little content planning for the next couple of months. So I'm looking forward to I have a couple more little 24-hour reading vlogs planned. I don't know what I'm gonna read in them, but I have a couple of them planned out for the end of the year. So I'm excited to get to those because I read 3 books in my first I'm trying to read for 24 hours. So I can't wait to see if I can match that going forward. Hard and inflation money. Again, I don't understand why because it's adult. Like there's no such thing as a cheap adult book. Like unless you're getting it at a used bookstore, there's no way it's going to be actually like affordable. I would hope so too. I would definitely hope so. No hate to the British girls, but the only good book you've read from an English author was Open Water. Not that. And even that came with issues. And Cleo and Frank is saving the British girls right now. Damn. You hate to see it. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you to everyone for coming out to these random impromptu sprints. I might read again tomorrow at a less late time because I do have to go to work on Monday. So I would like to get some sleep. So I might do some day sprints tomorrow. Haven't decided. I need to upload my Monday video, my July wrap up before it's like crazy out of date. So I might spend tomorrow refilming that, editing that. So we'll see. But I'm happy to have been here with you guys, and I'll see you at some point in the future with another video. But I'm gonna go now. So stay safe, stay hydrated, all those lovely things.